Hey, welcome to the Hope Youth Podcast. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Michael. I'm your host and your youth pastor, and we're trying out a podcast. We will see how this goes. The purpose behind this podcast is to have conversations with different people ranging from youth to very far from being youth, to hear about their experiences in life and faith, and particularly their experiences as youth. And hopefully hearing their experiences will give some interesting perspective and insight into your own life and your own experience. So we'd like to just invite you to grab a coffee, sit down, and join this conversation with us. Today's conversation is with somebody you might already know. Today's guest has been known to auction his beard off for over $1,000, not be able to sell his van for $1,000, and definitely is known for having an incredibly passionate faith as a young adult. So we'd like to just welcome Jacob Wiebe. How are you doing today, Jacob?
What's up? I'm doing pretty good. How are you, Michael?
I'm doing well. I'm hearing my dog sniffling, snorting behind me, so hopefully that doesn't come through in the audio.
It's got the corona or no?
I hope not. I've heard rumors that dogs can get it, but I hope not.
Ooh. All right.
That'd be super sad.
Yeah, it would be.
So I've got a couple questions to start off. The first is, how would you describe your current hairstyle? I've been really confused how to label it.
It's kind of a mullet in progress. I gotta shave the sides a bit more, but it's getting pretty long in the back.
Do you have like a goal for it?
I'm trying to just letting it grow right now. I might put one of my old dreads back in, just like one or two.
Just one. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of dirty, but it's a new look.
Yeah, with this whole quarantine and not being able to go to the barber shop, I might try to like copy you. We'll see.
Just let it grow, man.
Just let it grow. See what happens.
Yeah.
So with this whole coronavirus quarantine thing, what are you loving about quarantine? What are you hating about quarantine?
I'm kind of an introvert, and I get my rest by myself, build up my energy, and then when I come to things like youth or hang out with people, then I can be extroverted and really like enjoy people. But then that really tires me out, and then I gotta regroup and rest up. So I'm enjoying just being by myself, being with God and recharging, and so that's been good. But it's also tough. Yeah, you can't talk to people. Like, I like talking to people face to face. This kind of thing is kind of weird. I don't like talking on the phone, but
all right, I'll just hang up on you then. Interview's over.
Yeah. So this is kind of awkward, but yeah, I'm missing just going to people's places. My grandma's and grandpa's, like, they're in like prison. My grandma says, I'm like in prison. And so it's kind of sad for other people too. So
yeah, that's fair. So transitioning into talking about some of your experiences as a youth, you mentioned that you had an experience in high school that was kind of like quarantine.
Yeah. So I think I was in grade 10 or 11 when we went on our snowboard trip with our school, and I broke my arm, but I didn't know it was broken. It just hurt so bad. And then that night I tried to go play hockey, and in the warm-up I took the like first pass or whatever, and my arm just hurts so bad, like it just shattered through the vibrations, and then we went to the hospital, and then found out it was broken, got a cast, and I think I took a few days off school and just sitting at home, like couldn't really do much, so much pain. And then I got back to school, but I couldn't like do much, and yeah, it felt kind of quarantine-ish when I was like just sitting around doing nothing.
What did you do to, like, this was what, 10 years ago or so?
Probably, no, 15 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like 15 years ago, what did you do when you were quarantined on your couch before Instagram?
Yeah, just watch TV, like the lame shows during the day. Yeah, you couldn't even. Yeah, watch a VHS movie probably.
Did you have a favorite VHS movie or TV show back in the day?
Like the old Star Wars,
Okay.
Princess Bride. What else? Yeah, some of the Disney movies like Toy Story.
Nice.
Yeah, those are some good ones.
I remember being obsessed with Toy Story for a couple of years of my childhood.
Yeah.
Good time. So, what were the things that really mattered to you as a teenager? What were the things that were on your mind a lot of the time? Like, if you're just like, okay, if you're just left to think for half an hour, what's running through your mind?
I was pretty big into sports and like video games, probably the top two things. Like my faith back then was kind of, just immature, and I believed in God, but he wasn't like the Lord of my life. Like I had these idols and sports and video games. I love them. Like they were just so much fun. And I wanted to be good at them and put my time and my energy into those things.
Yeah, cool. I just need to pause for a sec to let my dog out of here.
Alrighty.
Freaking out. All right, the dog has escaped the room. And you described sports and video games as being kind of idols in your life as a teenager in high school. But I know you now, and you still definitely love sports. I don't know about video games, but you love sports.
Yeah.
How do you see that? Like, how do you still love it, but it's not an idol in the same way? What shifted there?
Yeah, there's a big distinction, and it's different for everyone. Like some people, they'll spend money on different things, clothes or this or that, which is fine. But when it's like consuming your thoughts and whatever your first thing is, like, oh, I'm gonna do this with this, or if it was taken away, what is your thoughts? Like now, when during this virus thing, like everything's being shut down, like are you worried? Are you like, oh, I don't have the games on anymore? Like, what are your thoughts about that? Like, are you trusting God is working in this? He's in control, he's sovereign, and you're like, okay, I'm giving this up. I don't care about the games anymore. You're leaving that in control to God. I think that's where then it's not really an idol anymore.
Okay, interesting. So like imagining yourself with the things that really mattered to you in high school, how you feel like you would have responded during being stuck in your house for a month with no interaction. What would your conversation with God, if you had one, have been like? What do you think would have been going through your head there?
I definitely would have been pretty frustrated, especially if like the power was out too or something. Like you just had to sit there and act, just like talk to each other or read, or like I wasn't a big reader. I'd probably be like, what are you doing, God? Like, what, we know your plans are good for us if we trust you, but how is this working out for your glory and your good? Like, just asking for wisdom, and what can I do with my time now? Like, like even now, what are we supposed to do with our time?
What do you feel like is different in your headspace now than it would have been then? What do you think? Like,
I think definitely I've grown in my trust and faith in him. Yeah, I've seen him work in ways that I never would have thought possible. Just like the verse where it's like, he'll do exceedingly more than we could ever think or hope for. So yeah, I have faith that whatever this virus is doing, it is gonna be for like our good and his glory. It's just hard to see it like in practical ways, like losing jobs and schools, and how do you connect with people. It seems pretty frustrating. Like the emotions is sad and frustrating, but we still have that hope and know he's gonna do good things.
Yeah. Like, how's that playing out for you personally with like work and life? What does your life look like right now?
Yeah, it's really kind of confusing and all over the place. But I was volunteering with Youth for Christ the past couple months. Like I quit my construction job and really wanted to focus on getting into youth work. But now that the schools are shut down, like I can't do that anymore. And just trying to think, should I go back to construction? Is there other ways I can keep doing youth stuff? Like, I don't know. I don't think so right now. Like, I don't want to do construction, but like, yeah, it's kind of a tough situation right now for me. I'm confused, but.
And how have you felt like guided by God in that, whether it's like specific leading or just like what's guiding you in this? As it seems like it's a pretty big life transition and it's not going as smoothly as you may have expected. Hey?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've just seen God work in the past when I wanted to do like a long-term trip and to work with youth overseas, like in different countries, and then God said no, like I have you placed here, like in Surrey, and then you asked me to be youth leader, and I'm like, okay, like I'll serve youth where I'm at. Like I want to be somewhere else, but you're leading me here, so I trust you in that, and it's been awesome. So I think maybe it might not be construction, but I know that his plan is not to do youth work right now for the temporary. Like it could be just a couple months, or he's trying to teach me something, hopefully grow in this, in different skills and maturity and closer to him. So it's just a different season of life right now.
That's crazy. What opportunities do you see like right now in the middle of this crisis as a follower of Christ? Like what are you doing with your life?
Definitely reading scripture, just being with God in his presence, and just learning more, like watching videos, podcasts, and then trying to connect with people just through texting or calling. I don't like those things. I'd rather be in person, so that's kind of hard for me. But yeah, just trying to look for opportunities, just where to help, give an encouraging word here and there or whatever.
Yeah, have you felt like you've had any meaningful connections, even though you can't be there in person,
Yeah,
the text or the FaceTimes and stuff?
Yeah, I think just through some messages. Like one of my friends right now, he is not a Christian, and he's been really like asking harder questions and thinking about his life, and over the last couple of years, and I've really seen a change in him, striving to like what is important in life, what like he's asking me questions, about God, and what I think, and what I like, why do you believe this, why do you believe that, and I've really seen him growing, and he said he's going to start reading the Bible, so I'm like so happy. It's just like I'm like,
Wow.
thank you, God. This has been so long of a process. Like, I just want to see him know God more. And so I'm really excited to see what that looks like over the next little while.
I'd
Yeah.
love to dig into that more, actually.
Yeah.
Like, what, like, you described it as a long process. How
Yeah.
did you become friends? How did it move from just being friends to actually having meaningful conversations about your faith?
Mhm.
Yeah.
We went to high school or school together, Surrey Christian. His family was like, they went to church a bit, but I don't think they're Christians. Like, I don't know their heart, but from what I see and it, how he's living, like, he says he's not a Christian. So, um, but we were friends throughout school, and um, kept in contact, played hockey together. Um, he does film stuff now, so I helped him with that. And then just slowly over the past 10 years, since we've been more like young adults and stuff, um, he he just like slowly, like a couple of times a year, he's just asking these deep questions about God and about the Bible. And yeah, just recently he's really getting more into it.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, it's been a long time, and I'm really praying that God works in his heart.
Yeah. If, like, you had to do it over again, you were friends with him in high school again, is there anything that
Yeah.
you would have done differently in that friendship? Or would you just go, this is kind of how God wanted me to speak into his life?
Yeah. Yeah. I always think, like, back to when I was a teenager, like, I was just like immature in just as a person and in my faith. Like, I was kind of like a lukewarm Christian, and wasn't like seeking his kingdom with all my heart. I was like focused on other things, sports, and just hanging out and having fun. Um, I I I hope that I could have spoken into his life earlier, and trying to lead him to God earlier, but that's just how I wasn't like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm glad that God's working through me now.
Yeah. It's an
But
incredible story.
yeah, but maybe just who God still worked through me back then, but just in different ways.
Yeah. So we're getting kind of close to wrapping this up, but I wanted to ask you what have been, well, kind of two things. This is a two-part question. It's on influence. First, have there been any big influences on your faith journey as you describe yourself going from being kind of lukewarm
Yeah.
and just not that committed as a Christian, just kind of one toe in,
Mm-hmm.
to, you know, over the last few years transitioning to being really committed and feeling like you have a genuine relationship and trust with God?
Yeah.
Have there been any influences along the way that were really key in that might be something that we'd find valuable, that we might want to invest in or look for?
Mm. Yeah, definitely, like, some close friends started a Bible study. It was kind of through Hope, but lots of the people didn't go to Hope Community Church. Um, so once I joined that, uh, they really helped me seek scripture more, ask hard questions. Like, now that I've been started becoming an adult, like a young adult, like, what are you doing with your life? Like, are you just hanging out doing random things? Like, what is the purpose in life? Why did God create you? You have a purpose. Um, so key friends. And then when I went on a trip to India, uh, uh, to and teach, I read the whole Bible, like, from front to back, and I never did that before. Like, some of the Bible like I never even read before, and I really just saw God speak to me and saw Him work in the people around me. And then just listening to different pastors' sermons and reading articles, and just digging deep, doing research, like getting into the scriptures. So
that's awesome. And what would you say is influencing you right now, whether it's like guilty pleasure Netflix watching or something super wholesome that you might actually recommend to us?
I don't have Netflix, so that's not, I don't really watch like TV shows right now. Wholesome things, devotions, I have this like Charles Spurgeon morning evening devotion. Like there's like for each day you get like a morning and evening devotion.
Okay,
it's really
I have
good.
Cut in here. I've heard of Charles Spurgeon. I've learned about it. I've never read his writing. What's it like actually reading him? Because he's from a long time ago.
Yeah, he's from like the 1800s, so the wording is a little tough to read. You kind of have to look words up, but no, he's so like smart and just like filled with the Spirit, and everything he said, I just cry. Like it's so impactful. And then just like listening to sermons like Matt Chandler, John Piper. Those are some guys that I watch.
Awesome.
And yeah.
Cool. And is there anything else that you want to add on the end of here? Anything you want to say? 30 seconds of fame.
I just want to, I don't know, say that you're doing a great job, like trying to reach the youth and setting up things like this. I think it's pretty cool to hear other people's stories, how God's working in their life. And it's a tough time for you and other people. Like the youth not going to be in school next for who knows how long. So hopefully you feel encouraged by doing things like this, setting up whatever youth looks like for the next few weeks, and just encourage the youth to plug in and reach out to people and get involved any way you can. And
all right, thank you so much. I appreciate your encouragement. And I think that kind of wraps things up. I'll just say a couple outro things. You can chill there if you want. We're figuring out how all this technology works and making super low budget productions, and I love it. But I just want to thank you guys for coming in here and listening. I hope that you got something useful out of this. If you did, let us know. Let us know things that you want to hear, because this podcast is for you, our youth that we care so much about. We feel for you guys right now. I was homeschooled. I did school by myself in isolation, so I kind of know what that was like. It was a rough experience, so I can't imagine just jumping into that. We want to be there for you. If you guys want prayer, you just want somebody to chat with, hit us up. And this podcast, if it seems like something that's valuable and good, then we'll probably do it again. If not, then it might be a one-hit wonder. Let us know. That'd be awesome. All right. Till next time. See ya.
Later.